What is up, fellow bench warmers? This is your daily fantasy quickie. Hey, what's up, guys? Did you miss us? We missed one day of quickie because I slept through yesterday and was too sleepy to do one. But hopefully, we'll try to wake up for today. We're gonna be posting the schedule analyzer episode as well today, and of course this quickie. Komish, how are you?
Yeah, doing fine.
After
how about
the
you?
Kyrie thing, there's not much news off the court, which is good, right? Which is good, but there are a lot of some injury news over the past couple of days.
Well, maybe we can dive into Kyrie a little bit.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
Kyrie,
we found out
go.
found out the things he has to do to be reinstated. What do you think about those?
I don't know. Someone actually, one league offered. It was a tempting offer, a 2-for-1 offer for Kyrie. I had Kyrie, and I, really thought hard about it. It's still there. I think it's Jamal Murray plus another guy.
I'll take that. Jamal Murray and
I'll find the player that was added, but I think it's too much, I guess.
what too much?
There's a lot of things there that he might not be able to do.
Okay.
I'm worried about that.
I'll name them and tell me if you think he'll do it. Apologize and condemn the movie, and not only through Instagram but actually in front of the media. Will he do that?
No. I don't think he will. So he failed the first one. He should have started with the easy one.
Oh, yeah, I think this is the easy one, right? I mean, he apologized in Instagram. So, what's a prepared script that's gonna be hard, right?
Yeah, I said, the Kyrie thing will not end through that post. Now, we as fantasy managers hope that it ends through that post. I mean, I watched Inside the NBA, I think last week, and Kenny Smith said that, if we take the post, we condemn the post, the first post that he had that started all of these, we should also accept the apology post that he did, right? Because it's post for post. I don't know what we want from Kyrie. Of course, people probably expect him to say it rather than just post it, because who knows, right? But
no, I think the problem is he had from what the article was saying and from the other articles, the problem wasn't just the post. The problem was he was given a chance to kind of make it right. Then he had
the last media availability he had. That started the suspension, right?
Yeah, that's the one that really hurt him. So I think that's why I guess he has to also face the media again. That's what they want to kind of show the sincerity, because like the number 2 one here, donate $500,000 to anti-hate causes.
That's easy.
That's easy, and he already did that.
You should have started with that, and I'll say yes.
Yeah, you say yes with that sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training. I think that's okay. You think he's gonna do that.
That's okay. We don't know if he's gonna do it or not, but whether he does it or doable, yes, but we'll never know. Right? That's my point. The first one, we will know if he does that or not. The second one, if he attends it or not, we'll really never know. He goes into a room, just sits there for a few hours, leaves. We don't know if he really attended one, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's just me. I think the biggest problem here with Kyrie, a lot of it, of course, the things he said was not right, but the things that the list there, the biggest challenge there is everything that's going to be publicly out, right? It seems like he's not willing to say anything publicly about this movie or whatever he said he posted. That's the thing. Anything done in private, I think he can get away with it. He can do it. That's easy for him. But anything we are expecting him to do in public, that's the thing that worries me.
And I think given that, no, I agree with that. The last two meeting with the ADL, that's the Anti-Defamation League and Jewish leaders. This is also a question mark for me. The meeting with Thai, sure, whatever. That's the owner. I think
No,
they can just get away with
he
that.
hasn't
So,
answered text messages.
but yeah, the point, I guess we can debate about or talk about this for the whole show. But the point is, I think the point that we can get from here is it's probably not going to be 5 games only. I think you agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Given all of these, it might be longer. It might be longer.
No, you know, initially I thought that that post was good. I mean, that would have been good for the Kyrie situation fantasy wise. But with the list that came out, the things that he needed to do, I think I'm back to the thinking that, you know, I'm not even sure if he's going to play again for the Nets. That's one. And I'm not even sure if there's any team that would,
Well,
if he doesn't do all these things, I don't think any team would try to get him just because of the public um, backlash that those teams will get.
well,
This
on that
is
note, I'm telling you that Brian Windhorst reported that Minnesota is interested. So,
ah,
just saying. Just
let's
saying.
see. I mean, but Kyrie is a great talent basketball wise. If you just talk about basketball, he is a very good talent, a game changer to say the least. In any team that picks him up. If we just talk about basketball, and that's we did, you know, unlike other players who probably who were in similar situations, they were not as good as Kyrie. So that's why it's really a big deal if he doesn't play, especially for us fantasy managers. But the offer to me was Kyrie for Jamal Murray and Bojan, which I think
I'll
was a
take that.
fair offer. If
I'll
you
take that.
know, that's the question here is what is my belief in Kyrie, and that's why I've left it there to think about it for a few more hours, or to see if I'll accept that deal. Yeah, so let's move on from Kyrie. I mean, KD. I saw KD smile in one interview, so that means he's probably um, happier now with Kyrie. Let's talk about injuries. Mitch Richmond, that was 1990s. Mitch Robinson, nothing surprising, but a knee soreness. I think he had a sore knee.
Um, Sore knee, but he's out for 7 to 10 days. I think that wasn't. It wasn't the usual sore knee. There's something happened in the game. I forgot. I forgot what. I don't know if he hurt himself or whatever. But he hurt himself in the game, and then they're just saying it's sore knee.
Yep.
So, but he's out. He's out for 7 to 10 days.
Yeah, the major beneficiary here is Isaiah Hartenstein. We all know that, and I don't think there was any Isaiah Hartenstein on the waiver when this news broke out. So I don't even think the top end would be a good, you know, pick up. Maybe just a stream, but it was a speculative stream. And today we saw that today. Just 7.6. I forgot how many minutes. I think less than 20 minutes.
14. He had
Right.
14
So,
minutes.
yeah.
14 minutes.
So
Yeah.
not the guy to benefit here. So that's Mitch Robinson. If you're gonna ask us what to do, well, put him in your IL. I mean, this is Mitch Robinson. At least 10 days. That's just 10 days, so you can wait. Siakam is probably the biggest name that got injured. Groin injury. No timetable yet, right?
Doubtful, no timetable, but it was a non-contact thing. He slipped. He slipped and then he stopped and then he left the game. You know when you have a misdirection and you slip. It's a strained groin. I researched some of the previous recovery time for NBA players. Could be very long if it's a major pull or a strain there, but could be 2 to 4 weeks also. So not that's just from me. I'm not saying there's any report out there it's going to be that long, but I think at least it's going to be a couple of games, very least a week or two. So yeah,
And with that, what time is it? It's Chris
Boucher.
Boucher time, and although he's been trending up even with Siakam there because of the minutes and the production, but Chris Boucher is the most popular pick up here. Maybe Precious Achua just streaming in case you need. He'll probably get more minutes as well. But this gives OG, Scotty Barnes, those guys some boost in terms of usage. But yeah, Chris Boucher is the guy. Cam Johnson's injury could be worse than
Could be the worst. Yeah,
yeah,
could be the worst.
Not the biggest of names, not as big of a name as Pascal Siakam, but he could. I think the worst case that I read is that this could be it for the season for him. That's
Possible
the
because
worst case.
they did say it's torn meniscus.
Yeah.
I didn't know. We don't know what meniscus it is, but yeah, from the injury when it happened, I already knew it wasn't good. But I was hoping that it's gonna be a good scans and everything. But obviously that's not the case. We prepare to be out to be not without him for months. I would just put it that way.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because remember last year he hit a 51-point
Yeah.
game and then he went down and just didn't play much after that.
Yeah.
This seems like another case of him, just hitting his stride and then just like that, he's gone. Yeah, we'll wait for timetable. That's our usual practice. We'll wait for timetable before we take action, before we make a drop. I guess that's how I'm gonna handle it. I mean, the timetable probably be out, if not today, tomorrow, or worst case, the 2 days from now. So just wait for it. And besides, the first game of week 4, it's a full slate, so you won't need to stream anyway. So yeah, that's Cam Johnson. Then Chris Duarte, sprained ankle.
The Cam Johnson thing might allow if you own him, you probably can try Torrey Craig. Just to see. He had 5 points, 3 blocks, a steal. So that's he's low end. You won't get 3 steals, 1 block every game, but he's gonna get the minutes.
Yeah.
There.
Duarte. Gobert. So Duarte, as I said, sprained ankle, could mean more usage for Maturin. Duarte hasn't really been good anyway this season. I've seen before
he was coming off a 30-point game, to be fair to him, but yeah, he hasn't been that good this season also.
He's been overshadowed by Maturin, I think, just because of the consistency. I mean, I know he had a 30-point game, but before that, he had some 2-point games, some very, very non-productive games, especially when the season started.
Yeah, but right now, Maturin would probably get a very, very big boost.
Yeah.
And then, well, if you're looking for any other player, by the way, Duarte is out 4 to 6 weeks, so that they already have a timeline. So you should drop him. No questions asked. Andrew Nemhart is another rookie. Aaron Nesmith. These guys are deep league guys, more of some players to think about.
Or watch.
Streamers.
Players to watch. In case they get more usage or more minutes. I mean, Nesmith before going down was okay. Could be a good watch. He was a starter, he's getting minutes, so he might be rosterable in 14s maybe, but just a watch for 14s. He's injured too, so I don't know what.
He's injured, yeah, but it's not serious. When he comes back, you could look at it carefully.
Yeah, you could see
how his role is.
How the role in the performance. Anthony Simons also injured. What's Simon's injury?
Left foot inflammation, but the report from one Portland reporter is that he's far off from returning. Dame Lillard actually will return earlier than him, so that says something. That says something about the injury, I think. I did
see him. Although Dame is in the more than halfway from the 2-week timeline.
Yeah, that's true. But it could mean two things. It could mean Dame's recovery is going well, or it could mean Anthony Simon's injury is also worse, not as good. I do think Simons will be out for another week, maybe. That's my guess.
Beneficiary, Winslow has been playing well, though today was a so-so game. Josh Hart could get a little boost there. Shadon Sharp, could get some boost until maybe Lillard comes back. Um, yeah, who else? Gary Payton. How is Gary Payton playing any time soon?
The earliest reportedly is November 15, so that's still a ways away. I think Lillard and Simons might come back earlier than him, so
Yeah.
that's not good. So I think it's Winslow at this point. It's Winslow. Then Josh Hart, as you said, gets the other guys are not in waiver wire. So if ever Winslow is the only guy that you could probably consider.
All right. So Gobert entered COVID protocols. So he'll be probably. I don't know what the protocols are now these days. Is it still 7 days, 5 days, 3 days?
I think
Um,
just 5 days at most. If he gets negative already, test negative, then they'll probably allow him to play. It's not as strict anymore. So, but he's gonna be out a couple of games, I think.
yeah. Probably late next week. He'll be back probably late next week. So yeah, those are the injuries. Anyone I missed? None. None, right?
Well,
Anyone?
Trae Young and Zion, just to mention, Trae Young had the eye thing. He played through it, and he had the right contusion in the right calf. He came back to play. We know Trae is a guy who's very durable and recovers fast, so I hope he doesn't miss any games because he's been very good. Zion had his cramping. I don't know. I don't know about Zion. He's already game time decision
It's a
for
leg
cramps.
cramp, right? Not
Yeah.
the type of cramp that's the other type of cramps. But Dennis Smith also got injured today. Dennis Smith
Yeah.
left the game, played only
Yeah.
6 minutes. I mean, he was on the way down anyway. He was trending down a bit just because Rozier came back today, and I think Lamelo probably be back. If not next week, hopefully 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
Hopefully next
Yes.
week. Hopefully next week because he's been close. I think they said he's been close to to debut for the Hornets. Yeah, those are injury updates. LeBron, by the way, also injured his foot, although he played through it. So I'm not sure how that impacts his week 4 availability, since he's always been uh, probable or questionable in the injury report. You worried about LeBron?
A little, a little. I saw the injury. I actually watching the game. I saw that he did twist the ankle. Stayed through it. The worry is that he already had an injury there. I think on the foot, it was already sore. So worried in the sense that he might have to miss some games eventually. But it's not that serious for me to be totally worried about
All
right
right.
now.
All right. So now, having said that, let's talk about some worry players over the past couple of days. Worry because they've been playing, but they haven't been playing well. Jalen Smith, 11 minutes yesterday. Minutes have been trending down. Got some replies from the Twitter, and I missed that out yesterday in the fantasy quickies that I usually post on Twitter. But yeah, how bad is it? Even Isaiah Jackson hasn't been playing well lately. He's been
But better
actually,
than Jalen Smith though.
yeah,
Uh, how bad is it? 11 minutes getting bench, not good. Previous to that, he was 1 out of 4. In 26 minutes, just 3 points, 4 rebounds. So it's been 2 really, really bad games.
yeah.
And
The third one was
there's
actually
still,
kind of a bad game as well, but he I think had 14 rebounds then.
yes, that's true.
So
That's
that's
true.
salvage.
There's still a debate as to whether Jalen Smith is actually a good basketball player or not. Because people are saying that's why he's not being used in Phoenix because he's not actually good. He just had maybe some good stretch of
No, he
games.
was playing with Chris Paul.
Well, that's true. But if you
Yeah,
remember,
that's where he broke out, right? He was playing with Chris Paul. The pick and roll were very efficient, very effective. It's because
well,
it's Chris Paul.
yes, that's true. But he did have 4 or 5 or 6 games here in Indiana that he was okay. He was good. He was double doubling, blocks and everything. So I think he's good. I think he's not that good, but I think he's a solid player. That maybe he's just going through something, going through a stretch of a slump. In other words. So
You know,
right now, I'm happy to take him if somebody drops him. I'm happy to buy low on him if this possible. I've been trying. So I'm not that worried. I think the Pacers gave him a contract. They'll give him a chance. Of course, there will be games where the coach will make a statement, bench him, show him that, hey, you can't play like this. You have to wake up. You have to show some effort. I think this is one of them. The game, 11 minutes. That's what happened, and people are panicking. But as of now, I think his next game might not be a great game, but I think eventually he will be fine. So I'm okay buying low on Jalen Smith.
Yeah, I think the stat to watch for Jalen Smith is the minutes.
Yes.
As long as he's two things. First one is he's starting. That's important because when you're starting, at least you get more usage. Second is the minutes. Let's see from 11 minutes how high it would trend up from there. I think this is probably the low of lows. Maybe the third thing that he has going for him is that there's really not much big man options there in Indiana other than maybe Isaiah Jackson, who can easily overtake him. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing for him. If he goes to the bench, he might be better off there. So I think you'll probably just hold on to him. I don't think you should drop him at this point. Give him a few more games to see. The good thing is, the next few games would be a full slate, right? So if you're gonna be picking some players, you can probably just sit him until he plays well, right? If you have better options there, you could sit him on the first day with a full slate, and then on Wednesday you could also sit him, because it's a full slate once again. So just to see how that goes. So yeah, just a hold. Other worry players, Valanciunas, I don't think he's a big worry. He had another big game today. What, 18, 19 rebounds today?
17
Yeah, he had a
rebounds.
double, I think, today.
It's still a worry in the sense that he only had 25 minutes again. I think the minutes will stay there, 25, 26. Larry Nance is a very good add if he's available. Should be picking him up. I won't say that he's Valanciunas suddenly drop a ball worthless.
Yeah.
It's not like that. But if he gets 25, 26 minutes, he can certainly do what he did today, like 13 points, 17 rebounds, or 17 points, 10 rebounds, or 14, 12. He can do the double-double, but that won't be consistent. Like the other day, the last game, he was 8 points and 6 rebounds. So, assuming everybody's healthy, then that is not going to be enough for him to be a top 50 player. Then that's a downgrade for Valanciunas.
Someone asked what to do with Valanciunas. Well, not much to do at this point, especially after the game the other day or yesterday. You might be able to, push him for some offers, right? He still has no name value. If you're really worried about the production or the minutes, now's a good time. He put out a double game. I just told that person to wait for a big game because he's gonna have some games like these, right? Wherein there are some matchups that are bigger, right? Today they were against the Atlanta, and there's Capella there, there's Kongwu, so they're a bigger team. So they'll probably use him a little bit more than Nance. But like you said, the minutes are a concern, but now's a good time to maybe sell if you're really worried in the long run for Valanciunas. Poeltl, we've talked about Poeltl as well. Not as good as last season. Yeah, the points, the scoring is not good. The rebounds are, I think, the only thing that's good are the rebounds, probably.
Yeah, the rebounds are actually not even as good as before. No, he has had games
but
where
decent enough. You won't complain much.
I still complain, but but not as much. I think the blocks.
Yeah, the blocks, the blocks are not good.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. I expected more. It's not off. It's blocks and defense. Should be more consistent because it doesn't need touches. Doesn't need the usage for those. But the way I see, I'm worried about everybody in San Antonio. Actually, I was offered, just for disclosure, I was offered by Coach Sandy, Keldon Johnson for Buddy Hield, which I would have taken right away in usual times. But I thought about it, and then he pulled the offer. But I would have accepted that right away if I wasn't worried about how San Antonio is. They're weird. Let's just put it that way. I find what they're doing weird, like the minutes sometimes, the rest. I know tanking is an issue, but I think that's the reason. And then they're playing so many players. Pop is weird also. It's a different, thinks differently. So I think I'm worried about that. With Poeltl, I think that is also a problem. I'm not sure if they're gonna rest him. I'm not sure if they're gonna trade him. So that's a concern for
Actually, if
Poeltl.
you look at it, two big centers who are really known for their rebounding and blocks haven't really done well. And I'm talking about Gobert, the other guy, and Poeltl. These two guys
Yeah,
are usually the guys when you need the rebound, high field goal, high rebounding rate, and high block rate.
yeah,
Gobert, of course, is in the top end of that list. And then as you go further down, it's maybe you get to Poeltl if you missed out on Gobert and wants to go that punt free throw route, right? But the blocks for both of these guys haven't been really there. It's not been there, and which must I guess it's much concerning for Poeltl because he's been with this system for a few years already. Gobert, you might give him a little pass because he's been adjusting and all. But yeah, Poeltl, a worry player. What to do? Well, what do you want to do with Poeltl? Is it time to move on from him, trade him?
if I can get a good offer, I'll always be okay. I will always try to find players who I'm more comfortable. It depends on how you look at it, you guys. Your own personal assessment. I'm just worried because I think really San Antonio is gonna tank hard. Don't tell me there's no history of them doing this. They did this with David Robinson 20 plus years ago. Many of you may not have been born yet at that time. But they
Yeah,
did this, and that is a worry. So he's still
that's
okay.
the. I
He's
think
still
that's the
okay.
year before they got Tim Duncan.
Yeah, so there you got Tim Duncan, and I think there will be trades coming eventually. There will be rests coming eventually. That's why that worries me about Keldon. That worries me about Pascal. That worries me about Poeltl right now. If you don't think that is, then there's nothing to do. If you think you agree with us, then always open your trading lines, right? Try to see what players you can get for him.
Yeah.
Let's say J-Val. I would like J-Val over Poeltl. Both are struggling. You can use the minutes concern. I would still go J-Val. I'm sure Pelicans won't stay healthy for long.
Yeah. The last player, Monte Morris, still. I don't know what people expect about. I think he was drafted too high. Some managers drafted him too high. I don't know what they expect from Monte Morris, but this is classic Monte Morris.
Trey Jones is also part of this, by the way, since we're doing this for the past 2 days or this quickie. Yesterday he was good. Today not so. A lot of people are angry about Trey Jones. Our Q&A showed that, and that's connected with Monte Morris. Yeah, they're expecting too much from these guys. They're not scorers. They're
Yeah,
not. I
you're
think that's the main thing.
specialist. You're specialist.
They're point guards. The typical point guard set the table, pass. We can make a shot. Sort
The
of like me.
category, there, yeah, the category. Do you pass?
I pass the ball and I can set the table. I can bring down the ball, pass it, and then if you give me an open shot, I can make it. That's all. I can't create my own offense. I mean, I
Yeah,
think these
there.
guys are like that. If they expect them to be like John Wall, they suddenly give them more minutes. They'll be
The
doing
question is,
everything.
would they rather have Monte Morris and Trey Jones or you? They might rather
They'd rather have
Monte.
that. Yeah,
They
of
rather
course.
have you, right? That's going back.
Yes.
But going back to Trey Jones and Monte Morris, I think the categories they're good at are assist and low turnovers for point guards
And
and
that
the
is what they're
efficiency. I think
and that is what
that's it.
they're angry with Trey Jones about because of the 2.3 turnovers, because of those things. And for me, you take it because he's he's getting more usage, he's
Yeah.
getting more minutes. If he can still go less than one turnover a game like last year on 20 plus to 30 minutes,
It's
that's
hard. It's going to be hard to compare him to last year because he played
yes,
very
yes,
limited games, right? He played what? Did he
yes.
play 20 good? I mean, 20 real good minutes games? I don't think so. He had probably
No,
around 10
no,
games wherein he played more than 30 minutes, just because
yeah, no, no,
DeJounte
no.
was there. So the sample size last year was not as big, but at the same time, you know, he's still going to be somehow okay when it comes to the assists. I think between the two, Trey Jones has the better upside over Monte because of the
Yeah, yeah,
teammates as well. Monte has
yes.
Bradley Beal, Kristaps, and who else? Kuzma. So I
Yeah.
think of both those guys, Trey Jones, but this is low end guys. I think they were drafted. You drafted them maybe if you drafted them in the 80s, that's way too high. If you drafted them in the 90s, maybe it's okay. But if you drafted them outside the 90s, you'll probably be not as complaining as much.
If you drafted Trey Jones in the 90s, he's gonna reach there as long as they don't rest him or anything. But if you drafted Monte Morris in the 90s, then good luck, because I don't think that he's gonna reach that level.
No, is Monte Morris a drop candidate for 14?
No. Even last year with Denver, he had a stretch of really poor games, but he overcomes them. He comes back. On average, he's not droppable. Even in 12 or 14 teams, because I look at the players available in the waiver wire, I don't see anybody I would rather have than Monte.
Yeah.
No, so Monte's is solid. Just your low end point guards helps you with the point guard stats.
Yeah. Okongwu is another guy who's been, I don't think worried. A player many people are worried about. I think he's been dropped in some leagues. Isaiah Jackson is another guy, but like you said, he is playing better than Jalen Smith, and he is still a hold. Just for the upside, I'm just not sure. Sometimes I just question how long should I hold on to Isaiah Jackson if you're losing already, if you're down. He is a good trade asset. So if you don't drop him, just trade him to someone else. They'll want him.
Yes. Okongwu probably easier to drop for me than Isaiah Jackson at this point. Yeah.
Yeah. John Collins' game has also gone down a bit.
Yes.
After that very hot start. You won't drop John Collins, obviously, but I think the game will probably just even out. The averages will just even out for him in the end. Capella, though, has been playing better of late as well. So I think those two guys are somehow very related when it comes to performance.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so yeah, that's it. For anything you want to note?
No more. That's it.
This week. All right, that's it. Tomorrow is Judgment Day, so we'll discuss more about the game or the week that was tomorrow, and see if there will be some news updates as well for tomorrow. But for now, that's it for the Fantasy Quickie, guys. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.